Hey guys, YOGAMALLAMAA here, and welcome back to my gaming channel. You guys can call me YOGAMALLAMAA or YOGAMALLAMAA, whatever you guys want to call me, it can be appropriate of course. And today we are talking about today's stream for behavior. By the time I'm recording this, it is today, but whenever I upload this, it is not today. It should be somewhere about like a couple of days to a week when this goes live, like my video. So yeah. I have gameplay in the background for you guys to see. I just got on just to record, so it might be awful gameplay you will see, so I hope you don't mind that. Anyways, let's not waste any more time. So as you guys can see on screen as I'm reading this right now on my laptop, is that camping reduction will be coming to live, but with some adjustments. While slugging reduction and tunneling reduction will not enter live in this patch. So for the camping changes, they will still keep where survivors can see the resolve bar on hook, which is an amazing quality of life change, not gonna lie. This is honestly the best thing for survivors, because like I've been left on hook like a few times, and the resolve bar will help them understand that if the killer is nearby or not, which will actually help a lot, you know, so that they know like they don't have to go unless very much necessary. The resolve bar fills up faster when the killer is in range, which is also still a great change. They still, you know, like if the killer is camping, for example, the resolve will just go like speeding like fast kind of thing. So that means survivors can focus on gens, and if the killer's not camping, they can just check to make sure the resolve bar is not going up. If they don't see it going up for like maybe a few seconds, they could just go maybe rescue their teammates, which honestly, like I see it as like a positive for the anti-camp, if that makes sense. I know maybe like some killers might not like agree with me, or there's some people that might not agree with me on this, but I feel like this anti-camp, like for the most part, is actually like pretty nice to have. So yeah. And the range has been nerfed from 20 to 16 meters. Now this is nice. This is like a nice change. Like I think 20 maybe was kinda a bit much, probably. I'm not sure because I haven't really tested it, the PTB. I've seen videos of it though, like of explaining how far 20 meters was. So for it to be 16 meters, that's honestly really nice to see. So yeah, honestly for me, this is like positive changes all around. So this is very nice. And not only this, they decided to increase the endurance and haste by 15 seconds, which is honestly 5 seconds more, and that is pretty. That can go a long way, like drastically change like the match. So not gonna lie, 5 seconds isn't like much of a big difference, but like in some scenarios that could actually be a life or death situation. So honestly, it's a mix for me. I can't really say much about this. So, but not only this, but they are reviewing how MMR is calculated, including wind conditions and all that stuff, like to require less drastic changes in the coming future. So I'm guessing for like tunneling or slugging kind of thing, so they can like drastically not like change much at all. Because if we look at the first iteration, it wasn't like it was a lot, not gonna lie. And on to the perk changes. So what about the perks? Honestly, they just kind of reverted everything basically. So the one that I was really not like looking forward to was the furtive chase kind of nerf, because I really love that perk. Like sometimes if I don't want to run gen perks, I run friends and furtive on Krasu, and it's like really fucking fun. And for those who really want to try that, I highly recommend try this on any killers you play really, and see if you like it or not, you know? But yeah, nothing's really changed here besides off the record, which was its previous iteration, I believe. So yeah, this will, other than that, that's all for those perk changes, as well as the other perk changes, which I will pull up. Okay, so this is for the hotfix one, which is breakdown and wicked. I believe they will disable resurgence so that wicked doesn't like really combine with those perks, which I understand, but also I feel like this would have been a little bit easier if they prioritize like where you got unhooked first. Like let's say Wicked, right? You still keep the 50%, but Resurgence will not activate kind of thing because you have Wicked. But if you only have Resurgence, then it works everywhere and in the basement included. I not sure how much coding would that be, but I would have maybe preferred that way. So that way it still kept like a little bit of the buff so that Resurgence doesn't really combo with Wicked, if that makes sense. And Breakdown, I can probably see why. You get like a healing bonus, like for others to heal you, as well as Breaking the Hook, which was half of its duration. So I will have to assume they just kept this as like the hotfix, like they just kept these, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I was right. Okay, so they still kept like the little buffs they had, so they're gonna keep it on release. But for hotfix 1, they will revert these two perks back to its original form, which I'm a little sad because they could have made me like change their values a little bit so that they could like, you know, make it work and make Wicked not really work with Resurgence. But it is how it is. You can't really expect much, if that makes sense. And now we are in the killer category. So what about the killers? I feel like Skull Merchant and Cenobite, right? I believe they said those. I think they said another one, but probably those two, right? So for Skull Merchants, changes are going live as is, but her undetectable will be decoupled from deploying drones to recalling drones in one of the hot patch fixes, and will revert the undetectable duration nerf. Okay, so I see what they're doing. I'm not sure that's I'm not really experienced with Skull Merchant changes, so I really don't know much. I can't really say much in here, so I will just leave it as okay, you know. Now the Cenobite nerfs has been reverted, which honestly thank God, because I feel like you know, like not like hitting your chains on a person that has endurance, I felt like that was, I don't know, I felt like maybe it might have been shit on to play as Cenobite on these changes. So I'm very glad that they reverted that change back. I felt like maybe if they still kept it during live, I felt like that was gonna be even more frustrating for Cenobite mains who play them like who are dedicated to this killer. It will be so frustrating, you know, so I can understand that. So this is a nice change for Cenobite mains. Look at that. Now for add-on changes on medkits. So they will adjust it as needed when they get some feedbacks on them. Honestly, I feel like syringes are even more powerful now, because now it doesn't really heal you. It doesn't heal you anymore, but takes away an exhaustion. Which, by the way, exhaustions are a powerful like survivor perk that they can have. So for it to take away the exhaustion and like extend it is insane. I'm not sure how many people would agree with me, but I would say syringe have been buffed. I know the healing might have been a little bit better, but I feel like the exhaustion part is a lot better, if that makes sense. They even did auto haven like lighting and such, so it's much more greener, they said, which honestly for the environment looks pretty okay to me. So honestly, a big plus for everyone here. And now for the pallet density. Oh my god. I was pretty fucking excited when I heard this, because like, trust me, playing a low tier killer and with the pallet density era was like such a pain, and I wanted to play, you know, some killers like, let's say Dredge, or a few killers like Myers, or well, Myers probably doesn't have to deal with it. And there are some very rare cases where I play Ghostface. Like, I want to play some, you know, like fun, goofy killers from time to time. But the pallet density just made me like drift away from that to the point where I just didn't want to play low tier. I'm just like, I play either Krusty or Kaneki. Those are my like two mains. One of them, Kaneki, being like my comfort killer, while Krusty is like my actual main. I can play mid to low tier killers without having to worry about like pallets being everywhere. They are trying to balance it like with the pallet density, so I am glad they are addressing the pallet density because it was not it was not that good. It was miserable. Let's hope that they don't like overkill it, if that makes sense. I still want like a little bit of palette density, but at the same time not so much as it's become like annoying, if that makes sense. Because I still believe it's still like a good quality of life to have like some palettes here and there, you know, to not make it like, you know, like a lot of things. But I understand in some situations where it was so much palettes like in like 3 centimeters from each other's that it got so annoying. I am just glad that they are addressing this and they are listening and they are trying to like adjust it to make it not as hungry as, you know, of course the palette density bra, which I'm very glad. So hopefully they still keep a little bit of more palettes around the map, but not make it so that it's like a lot. There's like palettes like in each corner or something like that, because that was like really something. I am so sorry. I'm yapping so much on this palette density alone. So I'm thankful that I can at least play some, you know, killers that sometimes I want to like diverse myself, just enjoy and have a great time with everyone. So that's good. And now we are here for the Grimoire chapter, which is the next step. Honestly, I am so fucking hyped for this, mainly because like I love to see what the community can make with this custom chapter. I'm thankful it's not gonna be a dash killer, because like we've already have enough, you know, we got already Kaneki and such. So I remember it was gonna be like curses or sin or something like that, which is like a little like of Sadako or dredges, like a little bit of curses, if that makes sense. At least to me, because I used to be like a dredge main, and I was like so fucking hyped when people like chose like torment or something, because I'm like, holy fuck, we're in it. So here are the 3 pillars they mention: status builder, fitting punishment, and force of judgment. So with the status builder, the killer must apply an effect that progresses throughout the match. So kind of like Crossue or Plague or Dredges, where it progresses through the match kind of thing. Fitting punishments. The killer must exact punishment equivalent to the sin that was committed. So I would assume that it would be like harsh punishment or something, like effects. And force of judgment. A killer is a terrible divine being. Survivors should be should be feared being judged, which sounds really fucking exciting. Now here are the votes on the powers. So the next round of voting will be broken down into 4 components: the active power, how does one gain sin, how does a sin progress, what is the effects of sin, and all that. So with the most voted results, we will put together a full design as a starting point for the prototype set to begin sometime in December, which is the month where I'm going to be going to see my love. But I hope that I can see this. I believe I will see this, and my love will also see my reactions to these when this happens. I hope it's like around the day where I'm still like at her place and such, and we see this. So yeah. What is your active power? So this is our first round of active powers. We got choice number 1, 2, and 3. So here are the list: Ray of Retribution, Retribution. Holy fuck, it took me a while. You deliver a beam of divine energy that punishes the unworthy. So think like reverse Xeno flame turrets. Choice number 2, Pursuing Smite. You throw your weapon and control its path. The better to smite the unworthy. So think like Artis's Dire Crows plus a Xenobite's controlled chain, which sounds pretty like scary because it's a mix of Artis's and Xenobite's power, which sounds fucking cool if you think about it. Like, I can already think of like crazy imaginations I have already just by thinking of that. And last but certainly not least, Dissolution Zone. You throw your weapon to the ground, affecting the unworthy near the impact. Think like the Cenobite's gateways, except you shoot in a straight line and causes an AoE damage zone. I will say this, 2 and 3 sounds very interesting, but I'm more leaning towards 2 just because of how badass and cool of a design will it be to have like an artist plus Xenobite, like Xenobite's power like combined. Like think of the possibilities, like holy shit. Now we are on to how does one gain a sin, which is choice number 1, full ambition, choice number 2, predestination, and then choice number 3, Balij Permas Act. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know if I butchered that. The first being sins are chosen based on player's progression. So for example, after 4 hooks have been reached, or when a generator is completed. We got sins are chosen at the start of the trial. For example, survivors assigned the sin of cowardice, where they scream man, I don't know how to say this. Think of Steagles, basically. And then number 3 is sins are chosen by transgression committed in the trials. For example, hooking a survivor, performing a specific action, getting hit by the killer's power, etc. Which that does sound pretty interesting, but I think 1 and 2 for me sounds like it would be really cool to see, you know. And now my favorite part of all, which is how do you punish sinners? We have choice 1, 2, and 3, being reckless suffering, malicious might, or hopeless exile. Now, number 1 is sinners are punished until they repent. An ongoing effect, think like the Doctor while in madness effect apply, which makes me like, okay, I see it. Number 2 is sinners feel your determination to unleash retribution. Think like the Nemesis mutation level affecting the range of his tentacles, or the shape gaining base stat boost. But number 3 is what I really want, which is hopeless exile. Sinners are banished to another realm, laden with challenge. Now this is fucking badass, cause you know why? A different plane where a survivor must survive a mini challenge. The killer can enter the area to deliver judgment themselves. But if you think about it, a survivor is being transported to a different plane. Like, oh my god. It's just, you're getting banished into the fucking shadow realm, basically. I really hope this community, we all combine together and choose 3 as this last one. Because, like, I am telling you right now, if this, like, chapter, like, we get our first ever killer that we get like transported to a different plane of existence in a trial, like that's fucking like insane. And honestly, I will P100 them like as fast as I can, because like that will be insane. Probably not be a main for this killer, but probably like it'll be like, of course, in my top 3 killers I play, so most likely will be up there. But like, holy shit, like this is gonna be the first killer that we get transported into a different plane of existence unlike no other, and I'm pretty excited for that. And now we are moving to the contest winners, which is like for the survivors right now. So the first one is Jane getting a cosmetic, which is pretty nice. Second is Tori, which I'm happy that Tori is actually getting a skin. That's pretty hype. Third is Fang. And last but certainly not least, Kate is also getting a skin. Now for our killer contest winners, we have Wraith, Knight, Legion, and lastly, Death Slinger. And we also have calling cards and badges, so you guys can see on the screen right now, as well as the runner-ups of the contest winners of 2024, which is Gabriel and Dredge's skin. And I believe they also talked about other things, but I don't think I want to get into it because the video is already getting long, so I will have to leave it here. And I hope that in the future, if they do implement tunneling and slugging, is that they should also reward killers with something, just like with the first iteration where they rewarded killers with base kit pop or Base Kid Barbecue. They should probably lean more towards like giving killers something to incentivize not tunneling or slugging. Let's hope that they do try to keep this in mind for both survivors and killers alike. I'm trying to be positive in this community. Sometimes I'm not positive, or sometimes I also crash out as well. So yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. So, bye bye.